everybody, it's AcidWolfX, or you can call me Wolfie, and today we are playing Our Life Beginning and Always. I will say, I did just record, there's air quotes in there, the entire tutorial. That's okay. You guys didn't need to read it. I think that took me 20 minutes. I don't think it took me that long. It took maybe 10. Anyways, the key points that you need to know are the dialogue has different colors. So blue is direct, straightforward. Green is kind of uncommitted, uncertain, and yellow is reactive or just more like energy filled. That's the main point. There's like different stages of life, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can't really pursue romance until 3 for sure. 2 if you have a crush after step 1. And then there's like, you don't have to, I mean, you can pick, we'll figure it out, but those are the 2 things I wanted to at least mention, that there's 4 things, okay? And so this starts from childhood, so we're not romancing a kid, okay? I'm too old for that. I'm not that kind of person. Anyways, I don't know what we're doing now. Okay. Oh, right. So we get to change our character. Or this is like a little, it's called like a doll, right? And so sometimes it pops up. I guess. We'll do a square face. Yeah, it's better. It's summertime. I have a tan now, people. Barely. It keeps fading. I keep getting a tan, and then it goes away because I decided to stay indoors for too long. We're gonna do, I already know. Well, actually, these ones. These things won't change throughout the game. So, face shape, skin tone, eye shape, eye color, everything on the right, which you can't see, but you'll see in a second after I figure everything else on the left. We're making this look like my character, obviously. Now, you guys can't see this because it's hard to tell off of my model, right? But actually I have gray eyes. They're like light blue, but they're leaning towards gray. That's the point. How much hair? Wait, sorry, this is worse than the intro. Actually, this matches pretty well. Wait, this one? Because she has the braids. And the side bangs. Okay. This is perfect. No. And this one. Wait. Oh my. This one. Medium 2. Okay. Oh, they're making me pick colors. Okay. Obviously blue. Because every 8-year-old is gonna have blue hair. Actually, yeah. And then, oh, and that's also what's fun. We won't experience this because I'm too lazy to go and download the extra DLC, but they have voice names. And you can get a DLC and it'll have a long list of names, and they're all people that have helped out with this game, which is really cute. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wait. Okay, well, this one. This is cute. We'll just do medium size hand. That is what I wish I had. And I know it's such a weird, like, thing. It doesn't matter to literally anybody else. But, like, long fingers. That. Okay, half of these I can't see. So, okay. Yeah, sure. Actually, I don't really wear bracelets. Anything else? Yeah, okay. Perfect. We're gonna say we're done with this. Look at the similarities. Do you see that? Okay. I don't know where to put us. Here? Okay. Whoa. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. You usually sleepy town began to bustle. Oh my goodness, none of these are good spots. We're putting us up in this corner. It was a popular tourist destination. Oh wait, actually, 2 seconds. Look at this. Look at this. I can solve our problem for us by taking off these two things. Okay. Anyways, it was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation within. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. But only to the nice kids. Okay, that's important. Going to a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked you how your family was, or most often just said hello. You really didn't get it why they were always said to say hi, they saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyways. You see, this is direct, casual, straightforward. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back to most of the other residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. Since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones, this one's speaking to me, okay? Don't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyways. It was the polite thing to do after all, and your moms had taught you to always be respectful. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting there, sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you had seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that the people who you didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for other tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mom's had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't been listening at the time, you think it'd be okay. I mentioned that some types of people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to worry about being polite then. They're just sitting there. Can help you even if you don't know them. Yeah, okay. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared. Well, that is very true. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. I think, though, this is the right answer. The stranger in front of your front door. Okay, still you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past him unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met and you took in a shaky breath, your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. I started running. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump, but you still didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of a nearby gate post and its black feathers ruffled against a gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way toward you. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and and stared. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. That one. The man gives a grin of his own back. Oh my goodness. I need commas. Do you live around here? Well, there has to... Give me a minute. Menu. Wait. No, I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. Okay. You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. Oh. Okay, sorry. Well, it's supposed to be voiced, right? Oh, duh. Okay, sorry. Okay. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you unexpectedly. He looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. And I'm not giving him my name. Yeah, I live here. That's great. He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. I get $20? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Oh, it does speak a little. Okay, well, can you do me a favor? Nothing bad, sorry. Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it made him look creepy. It just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove, who's about your age. Now, okay, I mean, I get it. Sorry, I'm making my model larger because this is... You guys have to see my... Oh! Pause. I'm gonna have to... You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to fix this later. Next episode is gonna... I have to, align it to the frame and everything. Okay, wait. Okay. Have a son named Cove who's about your age. Sorry, I was very distracted. That's why I couldn't read anything. Cove, that seemed like a strange name for an actual living person. Yeah. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. You thought that was pretty cool. It's one of these two. I think this one. But definitely the kind of name someone like this guy would give their kid. Of course. Oh my god. He doesn't even get a nameplate. He just gets Cove's dad. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sun and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Wolfie. Last. I don't think I changed whatever. It's fine. I don't have a last name, y'all. Right? I met your moms earlier and they told me you were 8, just like him. So... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's paying me to be friends with his kid. He's a good kid, you'll like him. But you've got to keep it a secret too. It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. It's okay to say your dad sent you. What's worse is... Did other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? That's how I feel. Had your moms done that for you and Lizzie, the thought made you frown. Yeah. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? Ooh, should I just run? You don't want the money? I want the money. Well, okay, let's just think about this for a hot minute. Anytime you ever watch anything, okay? Well, I shouldn't say anything. Webtoons, K-dramas, manga, whatever. As soon as they find out that you actually took the money and got paid, they get mad at you. But also, we'll be friends for a while, right? And I'm 8 in this scenario. Okay, so this means if I'm an 8-year-old, I'm taking the money. You carefully plucked the bill from his outstretched hand, grinning at the thoughts of what you could do with that much cash. all the sweets you could ever want. You could buy a ticket for the newest movie. There was a cute stuffed animal that you had seen in the store in town. Me. It cost a few dollars. Just no. This one. It was going to be able to go home with you. And that was just a start. You thought the sky was the limit with that kind of amount. I wish. $20 gets me a coffee. The man smiled at you, his eyes crinkling at the sides as he did. Great, that's great. I'll bring him by. He could have just brought him by in the first place. If he literally told our mothers, hey, I'm going to bring my kid over to play with your kid, they would have been like, cool. You know? It's a small town. It's a small town. That would have happened. They didn't have to pay me off. Whatever. But as an only child, it was like, here, your kid should play with my kid. I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything from that. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but, well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you could thought he'd actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. These two, pink and glasses right next to each other, makes my brain think of pink eye. Whatever. You can't miss it. Ooh. Sure thing. I can try. Okay. Can I keep I would be saying this. Can I keep the 20 either way? He chuckled at you and rested his hands on his hips. You sure can. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your mom's already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look. Too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back and, well, that's not important. I have to go. Thanks again, Wolfie, so much. I'm surprised that the kid doesn't have a... Sorry. I'm surprised that the kid doesn't have a key to the house. But the backup thought I just had in the middle of that was, remember how I didn't put in a last name? Now, okay, mild spoilers, but I'm pretty sure it ends with this whole thing, if it goes the, like, romance route, ends getting engaged. And you know what normally happens at a proposal? It's normally like, first, middle, last name, will you marry me? It's gonna be literally, Wolfie last? That's okay. That's fine. Whatever. Can I fix that? No, I don't mind. Okay. It'll add to our chaos of me playing an autumn game. How do you actually say that? Whatever. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decide to check the hills behind your house. Step 1. First sight. Oh, we're finally starting the actual. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear the stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you imagined living far beneath the waves. You didn't enjoy the beach much at all, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. This one. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Ugh! Oh, I was like, how are we walking around this hill? He's right next to us, we don't notice. Anyways, there was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Though, deer didn't have huge glasses. We're going with huge glasses. But this new boy did. He watched as he pushed them up the bridge of his nose with a finger. After a few more seconds, he took a step forward, then another, and then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped raising a hand. You stopped raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Actually, this is the solid answer. Are you lost? With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. Oh no! He's crying! He didn't say anything. Oh, I guess they told us that with the frowns thing earlier. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Ah! His eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? You touched the money in your pocket, feeling it crinkle beneath your fingertips. Lucky guess. No way, tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were. The voice lines in the background just sneak up on me. Oh? So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Yep, it is my hill. You can't own a hill. You shook your head. You can't own a hill. Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this still isn't mine. How rich is this kid? His dad's throwing around 20s, and he owns a hill. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers, too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you out here? Oh no! A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. I'm so sorry. Okay, almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents, they don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sitting in his dark lashes. Sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard, but the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffed and moved his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. Dude, you've been here like a month. Max. Actually, maybe even a week. I want my mom. I'm sorry. You'll like it here, you just have to get used to it. Your dad seemed kind of nice. Okay, let me be serious here. Okay, young Wolfie. Young Wolfie would be like, you'll like it here, you just gotta get used to it. Yeah, because I'm really direct. I'll just say I'm sorry. That's simple, and that's nice, and whatever. That's good. He slipped his hand underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long, crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. This is true. 'Cause you're 8, and you don't know what's happening, and you can't realize your family situation when you're 8. When you're a little, like, literally when you're 9 or 10, you're like, well, my parents should be divorced. But before that, you think your parents should always be together. Okay, you couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Wolfie! Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here. I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. It'll be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. No, I'm just being nice, okay? This guy's dad paid me $20. I gotta live up to me making money. It's not gonna be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You called out yourself, you waited silently with him, and you tried to convince him. Okay. If it was me, I would have ditched this kid and went to my mom, okay? Now this is me, but this is me as an adult thinking of the situation and what he needs. Is he just needs to be waited with silently. Yeah, I get it. You do. Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Oh my god. Oh my god! Okay, anyways. Sorry, she was so good looking. You see the hair, the eye combo, the hair, and the nose piercing? Crazy. Okay, both your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Wolfie, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. Actually, though, sorry, side note, totally makes sense why these parents are freaking out because the ocean is right there. 8-year-olds and the ocean? Crazy. I don't think I could trust, I guess you're 8 and you could be by the water, but I just feel like stuff happens. Too many sad movies are with the ocean and kids just get swooshed and that's not good. Okay, I forgot what they asked me. Why is everybody asking like this is such a big thing? We're okay. Oh, I was gonna out him, but we're not gonna do that. We're okay, don't worry. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? Now, question. Are we ever gonna get our parents' names? Whatever. You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. I'm so sorry. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. What was the question? This one. He's new here. It was okay. I mean, that's the accurate response. Okay, this kid was crying in front of us, and then he was like, no. So I don't have a fond opinion of him at this moment. Okay. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Wolfie knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should get going home now. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Wow. You know, I could have been so much meaner, dude. I should get more than just a bye. Ugh, rude. The two of them walked off into the darkness. Heading towards the neighborhood, you watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? It sounds like words. Sure, can I show him my stuff? Then okay. Both of your moms laughed, the sound overlapping into warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you toward the path. This is Mommy. This is Mom. Okay, anyways. She's satisfied. She's satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day. You followed them home. Choose your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It can change in later steps. Indifferent, dude. Oh, wait. You can't see that. It says indifferent. The comfort. I'm not nervous around him. I think he's a crybaby. Okay? So we're gonna be indifferent and direct. Okay, based off of... Ready. I won't be able to change this until step 2. But, oh, and then that's also the thing. You can't change your... Okay, you can't change your step. You can't change your indifferent and direct thing till the next step. But also, if I chose something higher, like crush or something, then that would be the next lowest option. So technically, since I chose indifferent, I could be indifferent towards him the entire time. Okay, thank you. Thank you, that's what I had to say. Early the next morning, you're poking at your food, eating it slowly. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Mom. Okay, excited to see your new friend again, Wolfie. We're not friends, really. Okay. With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Haha, I don't know, am I? Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. Yeah. Good job. He should be here soon. Begin cleanup, then on cue... Cleanup began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Wolfie, could you get it? Because your mom said so, you wandered over to the door. Hey, last family! Thank you for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room and when he wasn't crying. That makes a difference. With his dad standing in front of him and mom and mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. You studied Cove apathetically. This was your parents' plan, not yours. Not seeming any more excited than you were, he just stared back. Do you want to go play in your room, Wolfie? Sure. I've got some cool stuff. Come look. Okay. He's giving us nothing. Okay, this is why I'm indifferent. I have nothing to work off of here. Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids. See you later, son. Play nice. I'm surprised this didn't say Mr. Holden. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There's lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. I drew that. I don't. Cool. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a little bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. He hoped you liked your room. No, it's not awkward. Indifferent. He already likes my paintings. I'm thinking. This is me, the head shake of thinking. You're glad for the company. Yeah, sure. You're glad for the company. Whatever. Yeah, it was nice to have someone new to play with. This is exactly. Thank you. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you collected tucked away by your door. He took a step toward it before hesitating and pointing at it instead. That's right. What is that? Can't touch my beach treasures. Okay? I'm glad he backed away. Or the stuff I found on the beach. Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I do, look. You gestured to a piece of the bottom, still covered with specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice, or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. I forgot about Shiloh. Shiloh? He's friends with my older sister, and he's supposed to hang out here this afternoon. Do I have to see him? You don't have to do anything, but he's gonna be here. Anyway, I found this gigantic shell stuck here to an even bigger rock. You pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. Also, this kid's a jerk. He doesn't want to hang out with me. I mean, he does. He's warming up to me. You see him smiling at me. But also, not wanting to meet my sister's friend? He's just there. Whatever. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you've even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had a lot of funny stories to tell for all of them. Your voice faltered a little, but you kept going as best as you could. I really like scientific names. I can't remember them. This is more accurate. Fun like Wolfie, whatever. Fun fact is that I like going to beaches and stuff and picking up rocks and then collecting the rocks at places that I go to. And then later, whenever I get bored, I'll make jewelry out of them. So I've done that. Not enough to be like, look at all the jewelry I've made. Made like 3 necklaces. Okay. Wire wrapping is a pain. Anyways, fun fact over. Back to the storyline. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, and after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus, even if it was only directed. I'm pretty sure I just read the word previously wrong. Even if it was only directed at the shells. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Been like this. Well, he's still being a jerk. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you both had been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Yeah, you should have asked, dude. Okay, but be careful. Or just be great. Okay, but be careful. Yeah. Good, I will. You weren't sure if you could trust someone else with your treasures yet? Uh-huh. So you stayed next to him while he opened the lid and peered inside. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. I'm being really nice here. You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. Oh my god. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. Well, he already doesn't like living here, so if he likes something, you insisted. No, it's okay. It's okay for you. Okay. You pushed the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present, but Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly at his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Cove was your neighbor now, Maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. If there's an opportunity, I don't think I'm giving in that orange shell again. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel any better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. Yeah. This isn't a good idea. It's just Shiloh, and where would you even go? He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. No, I like us. We're plotting ahead. We're saying you can't leave. You can't go upstairs. You are stuck. This is good. Okay. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something, he stepped forward, then paused. Shiloh's the least scary person alive. Do you want to break your other arm? Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea. Let's go. Do you want to break your other arm? Even I don't jump out of any of the windows here, and this is my house. The distance from the first floor living room window wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cove nervous anyway as he touched the cast on his arm. The window had clearly released from its sails, or the wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. But I don't want to see him. I don't know him. You don't know me either, dude. You teased him. You comforted him, you encouraged him. I'm gonna tease him. What, a chicken? You gotta see new people every day walking down the street. So what? Or what a chicken. Because how are you gonna sit here and tell me, hey, I don't like this town, I miss my mom, and now you're stuck over at my house. I'm trying to gift you stuff, you don't want it, and then you're like, I don't want to meet new people. Are you kidding me? No. Shiloh poked his head into the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he had heard what you've been saying or not, but you guessed that he had. Oh my god, he's so tiny. I thought our sister was older than us. Hi, Wolfie. And hi, Cove? Cove shot you an uneasy glance. Hi. I'm Shiloh. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. How rude. I mean, like, not rude, but just rude. Right, I do. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells. Awesome. Can I do it too? Cove shrugged, then looked back at your box of beach findings. What about that one? What happened? Okay, the plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else. This is a scallop shell I found last week. I kept it because it looks neat. It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay. Why is he being such a jerk? Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue. It might be yellow. Oh my god. I feel so bad for Shiloh. Oh, those are all cool. I'm gonna strangle this kid. What in the world is wrong with him? You know, I'm not sure how to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence, and you look back at your shelves. There are better colors. I like those colors too. He's already on my nerves, so I'm gonna say there's better colors. Says you. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? I don't know. Cove, why are you speaking? Where did she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Oh my gosh. Really, you do too, right, Wolfie? Really? You do too, right, Wolfie? The park is fun. The park is pretty great. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun stuff to do and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it would be cool, says a kid with a broken arm. So are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know, I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. And I can get more cool beach things. That's the whole point. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Wolfie, Shiloh. Hi. Where is she? She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here too. You weren't sure if this was an improvement. Who is that? It's Cove, he's new. I remember. Hi, Clove. Have I been calling him Clove? Whatever. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes here, so this is where we get together. She gestured widely with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. Without interrupting Lizzie's speech, Cove whispered in your ear, quiet enough that the others wouldn't overhear. I thought kids couldn't own places like parks or hills. You couldn't help but laugh a tiny bit. No, when people, I'm like that. I can't say anything. While Lizzie continued talking, you took a chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are? Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My mom said you're Wolfie's age. Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. What about the other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh's just visiting from another place. Whoa, threw my man under the bus. Said he practically doesn't exist to me. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. He didn't want to meet anybody, and you're telling me he's upset that there's not more kids? But something in his eyes shifted as he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're going to upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. Just because Lizzie's being a jerk. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Wolfie in school. You see tons of kids there once. Summer is over. Wait. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. How are their children? I guess maybe they just vacation all summer. Shiloh looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much striking up conversation with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort, at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely you didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunching up. Welcome to Sunset Bird, Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. Yeah! He needs to suck it up. Ugh. Is right. Never mind, I really like Lizzie. Okay, for the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. So annoying. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became what is like a 10-year-old busy with in the middle of summer on a small island with no other children? She just ruling the park all by herself and kicks me away. Is that what's happening? Whatever. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way sun and lunch and the beach were. That first summer, you hadn't really been interested in him one way or another. He was just kind of a fact of life, someone you met with because he was there. Of course, that was only the start of things. Oh my. Oh, okay. This is what it is. So you do your intro step, okay, of wow, of like meeting them, whatever. And then you can click through all of these, or you can just skip to and summer ended. Okay? So, since this is already like an hour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you guys tell me which ones I should do. I'm willing to do them all. If I do them all for step 1, I want to do all of it in one episode. So that might be a really long episode. So that might be 2-hour episode, and I hope you're willing to watch it because I'm recording it. Or I can just do like 1 or 2 and then come back. Whatever it is. Or if you want to give me an order of like do long day, shopping, sandcastles, fireflies, and then grown up. Okay, that is my spiel. Please like and subscribe. 1, so that I know that I should make another video of this, and 2, so that when I make another video of either this or something else, that you're informed. Okay. And yes, I'm actually very excited about this. I've played several I really like romance stories, okay? So this is up my alley. Anyways, it's not at all sci-fi related, but it's okay. It's whatever. I don't care. Hopefully you guys don't care. Don't know about that. Some of you know what else is very similar to this? My Sonic the Hedgehog video, which you should also watch. That I haven't continued yet. Maybe I will in future if you guys like it. And if you guys subscribe. Because otherwise I just do what I want to do when I want to do it. Because I'm a lone wolf, so to speak. Anyways. Yes, thank you for watching. And I hope you guys enjoy. And I hope you have a nice day. Or whatever. And bye-bye.